Temperatures in the Arabian desert can reach up to 50 degrees Celsius, with some areas having less than 40 millimeters of rainfall a year. It was in these conditions that a woman ran between two hills called Safa and Marwa 7 times in search of help, food, or water for herself and her baby son, who was lying in the desert sand. The baby boy kicked the sand, and surprisingly, fresh water started to come out. Travellers then came to this location, following the birds who flocked to the water spring, which was called the Zamzam. By the grace of God, a town called Mecca was established there, and a place that had little or no vegetation transformed into a place producing a wide range of fruits every year, like dates. The woman and baby child, who had more or less founded Mecca, was Hajar, peace be upon her, the wife of the Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, and the baby child was the son Ishmael, peace be upon him. The name Ishmael means God listens. Abraham, peace be upon him, had been instructed by God to leave his wife and son in the barren Arabian desert. This incident is mentioned in the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 127, where it says, "And remember when Abraham said, 'My Lord, make this a town of peace, and provide with fruits such of its dwellers as believe in Allah and the last day.' Allah said, 'And on him too who believes not will I bestow benefits for a little while.'" Ishmael, peace be upon him, grew up, and when he was a bit older, Abraham, peace be upon him, had a dream that he was sacrificing his son. Abraham and Ishmael, peace be upon them, were willing to fulfill the dream, but at the last minute, God stopped Abraham, peace be upon him, and told him to sacrifice a lamb instead. The dream was meant to show Abraham's willingness to sacrifice anything for the sake of God, and was not meant to be shown literally. It also abolished the practice of human sacrifice by sacrificing a lamb or another similar animal instead. Therefore, every year, Muslims commemorate the sacrifice of Abraham, peace be upon him, in the festival of Eid al-Adha, where Muslims sacrifice a lamb or a similar animal and then share the meat among themselves and the poor. Later on, Ishmael, peace be upon him, became a prophet. In the Holy Quran, chapter 19, verse 55, it says regarding Ishmael, peace be upon him, "And relate the story of Ishmael, as mentioned in the book. He was indeed strict in keeping his promise, and he was a messenger, or prophet." Within the city of Mecca, there was a place called the Kaaba, the first place of worship to God, built originally by Adam, peace be upon him. This had fallen into ruin, and Abraham and Ishmael, peace be upon them, began work on restoring the Kaaba. Abraham was also told to announce the pilgrimage, and today thousands of people come to perform the pilgrimage across the world, fulfilling the special prayer of Abraham, peace be upon him. Abraham also had another son called Isaac, peace be upon him, with his wife Sarah, peace be upon her. The name Isaac means laugh. Isaac, peace be upon him, lived close to Abraham, in Canaan or Israel, but he did migrate to somewhere out in the area, due to a famine. He also married to Rebekah, peace be upon her. Isaac, peace be upon him, also achieved the status of prophethood, like his father and his brother. Isaac and Ishmael, peace be upon them, were blessed with much progeny. Isaac had 2 sons. One was called Jacob, peace be upon him, who was also a prophet, and the other was Esau. The progeny of Jacob, peace be upon him, were the children of Israel, and the progeny of Ishmael, peace be upon him, were the Ishmaelites. In the Holy Quran, chapter 21, verse 73, it says about Abraham, "And we bestowed upon him Isaac, and a grandson, Jacob, and we made all of them righteous." Christianity and Judaism often consider Isaac as superior to Ishmael. When Abraham was told to sacrifice his son, the Bible switched Ishmael for Isaac instead. However, we know that Ishmael was the one who was about to be sacrificed for a few reasons. 1. In the Holy Bible, it mentions that Abraham should sacrifice his only son. Ishmael was born 14 years before Isaac, so for 14 years Ishmael would have been Abraham's only son, so only he could have been considered for sacrifice. 2. In the past, only the firstborn son was considered for human sacrifice, and Ishmael was Abraham's first son, not Isaac. The firstborn is mentioned being preferable in many times throughout the Bible. 3. The last point is, in Islam, we find an important celebration about Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son. However, no such event is found in any Israelite tradition. Ishmael is more closely linked with Arabs and Islam, and Isaac is more linked with the children of Israel, it seems likely that the son who was about to be sacrificed was Ishmael, as it is the Muslims who commemorate this event rather than the children of Israel. At these points, it is clear that Ishmael was indeed the son who was about to be sacrificed by Abraham rather than Isaac, but both Ishmael and Isaac are the righteous sons of Abraham. Abraham and his wife Sarah, and Isaac and his wife Rebekah, peace be upon them, are buried in Hebron, Palestine, in a place called the Cave of the Patriarchs.
Thank you for watching.